Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Motorsport for some more multiplayer racing. Now for this session, the car restrictions were fairly straightforward. We were using 4-cylinder cars in B-Class. However, they had to be running on race tyres. I opted to go for what I've not actually built before, Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing, of course though with an engine swap, but I was going to be using this as a session to be playing around and kind of testing out some of the weather settings, because there is forms of variable weather now available, and while not what I would want or not really perfect, it seemed like it could be fun to throw some changeable conditions into the mix. So we head to Brands Hatch for our first race. I am very far back in the field. That's okay. I'm hoping my Mercedes is going to be a very solid car here. What the weather's going to do, nobody knows, and as much as we can try and be prepared, we genuinely do not know what is going to happen here. It is certainly slicks to start with. There's a chance for drizzle and chance for heavier rain later on, but we don't know if it's going to come or not. You do not want to start on wets because you'll have chewed them apart by the time it's wet enough for them to be of some use. It is a little bit crowded down here. I'm hoping that we have got the straight line speed here to pass Stevie and to pass the Evo, which we do, and that will move us up a few spots. Now, if the wet tyres by some miracle live until the end of the race, and it does rain, could be great. If the wet tyres don't live, they'll have to pit anyway, and it's one of those I just don't know, which is why we're playing around with these settings to see what it might be like. In the meantime, we have got a race. We've had a good first lap, actually. The Mercedes has come from the very back of the grid already up into 12th place. There's a few cars out wide into the dirt here. We are clear behind us, Stevie and Aaron, and we're having a battle or something going on back there that has allowed me to get away. There is a Volkswagen having a trip across the grass there. Longboat on the out. There's that Forza glue that has gone on. And that will be a couple of places for me as well. Car guy is kind of running away a little bit at the front. I don't actually know what they're driving at the moment, but from the back of the grid we're never winning, but we've had a very good first lap. Now, Pegasus Golf might come handy if the rain does fall, because there is a chance that you might try and tough it out. No one wants a pit stop here, right? Coffee has run wide at turn 1. Super easy to do around Brands Hatch, a notorious place for cars entering the gravel trap there. All-wheel drive might help you if the going does get a bit soggy. You could maybe try and tough it out for a lap or two on slicks. If it does rain, it's going to be near impossible, but it's, how much time can you build? And the all-wheel drive car will survive a bit better. We have got the battle of the Infinities now. Everything here was with 4-cylinder engines, so, I mean, this car here wouldn't have started life with one, but there's plenty of engine swaps going on in this. I think we've got the... have we got a high booster engine in this? No, that rev's higher than this. I don't actually know what engine I've got in this, but we have got a 4-cylinder that's relatively powerful and does make the Mercedes relatively rapid. I'm going to have to be really brave here. Do not really want to do this one, but we are far enough ahead by the time we get to the corner that Nitro just doesn't really have any option but to kind of concede the position. And Impega is on the march with me through the field at the moment. We will barrel into this final corner. Now, if the drizzle is going... I mean, there's no chance, there's no guarantee that we'll get the drizzle either. Drizzle we won't have to pit for. So if it does start to rain, very likely we'll get away with running on the slick tyres. I mean, the slick tyres are up for temperature. I don't know how that affects. I know how it works in theory in real life. Don't know how it affects in Forza. They are side by side ahead, Ewan and Gliska having a little bit of a battle. I think there's an Aston Martin versus a Prelude versus the Infinity, soon to be a Mercedes and soon to be a Golf as well. It looks like, the drizzle is started. there is drizzle on the horizon. Now this is, you could pit for wets. You could pit for wets at this stage, and your wets won't fall apart in the drizzle. It is slightly faster in these conditions still on slicks. A little easier to drive on the wets. We've got a very out-of-control car, but the slicks are still going to work for now. However, you could pit if you want to take a gamble on the 40% chance of much heavier rain at the end of the race. You could pit and do that now, and you're not going to shred your tyres. Now, I'm not sure what car. I think there is at least one car starting on wets. I'm not sure who it was. If their wets have survived till now, they might be laughing, but they might be in trouble. Or Ewan tried to make it work on the outside. I am going to get a bit pinned by the Aston Martin in all of this. Impega's going to have a look to the inside on that corner. I have got the speed, so I've intentionally not put aero on the Mercedes because I wanted more straight line speed. Gliska has kind of boxed me in now. We don't really have much of an option as to where to go here because every time I'm trying to battle with Impega, there is Gliska in that Aston Martin kind of in the way. Ewan's got immense top speed. The Preludes have got absolutely monstrous top speed. I'm still side by side with Impega. Unfortunately, I cannot complete my battle with Impega because Gliska's in the way. We might finally do it here, but nope. Impega's still got an overlap. We've been side by side for about half a lap at this point, and now Impega might finally get the move completed. Now the traction the Golf has got going on is going to be helping it a little bit, presuming Impega has kept it all-wheel drive. I imagine you would. One of the advantages of using a car like that would be all-wheel drive, especially with potential weather shenanigans. We know Ewan's car is mighty down the straight. I mean, we had the speed of Shadow, but we've since kind of lost out, having got stuck in this traffic. Brands Hatch, not the easiest place in the world to be overtaking, even with our slight straight line speed advantage of the cars ahead. Impega's going to have even more problems getting past Gliska than I did, because, well, Impega's got the traction to try and make this one work. This is going to go very defensive. I try to keep the power down and get on the power as early as I can through there. We're going to slide about. I mean, a lot of these cars are going to start sliding. This is where my lack of aero might come in, might hinder us. We've got a great run. See, Impega's now getting held up by Gliska. Here comes the Merc. Either one of us could probably clear the Aston Martin. However, because we've got other cars, Gliska's coming in. I think Gliska's realised they don't have the speed here, so they're doing a Hail Mary. It's actually not the worst idea. Gliska's not going to win on pace. It is eventually going to lose out to the likes of the Golf, to the Mercedes. So why not take a gamble on this? It could pay off astonishingly well. I mean, we're not winning the race at the moment, but we're having a lot of fun battling Impega, so, you know, we're not going to take this gamble. We're to the inside at turn number 2. Once again, the Golf is going to get off the corner. The Golf is going to be side by side with us. Not going to pass through there. We'll try and cut underneath, can't do it. Scotty's come from the back of the field, actually, with me. A lot of cars have come in the pits. A lot of cars have gambled. I guess this is... They've figured they're not winning. You're not going to win the race. So Gliska's the best placed of cars on wets. They figure they're not going to win this race any other way, so why not take a gamble? Scotty might win big if rain doesn't get worse, because Scotty's gained a whole heap of positions from cars coming into the pits. Oh, could not quite make that one work. What is the weather doing? Is it getting heavier? Are we starting to struggle for grip more? I don't think so. I mean, we're kind of committed to staying out. That was a poor bit of driving by me. That was just, yeah, turned in a little bit too soon. Oh, Impega's gone very wide. Impega's on the grass. We will, yeah, jump at that. Oh, it does feel like we're struggling a little bit here. Doesn't feel great at this moment in time. But I don't know whether that's just me pushing. I mean, up ahead, the podium beckons. No one wants to pit from this group. We've got 2 laps to go. Will the rain... I think if the rain's going to get worse, it's going to probably be about now. We're going to start seeing it getting worse. And we know it's going to be... I can't chase Impega across anymore. Doesn't seem like it's getting worse at the moment. I do seem to be struggling a little bit for grip. The question is, where is Gliska going to be? This is the big question. We lost out to Impega through all of that. However, we are going to try and jump on the power. We know where we're going to be potentially good. Down here is going to be another part. Me and Impega have swapped places so many times this race. So many times. the Golf and Mercedes have swapped positions, and we know we're going to run away down this straight. We know this straight is good news for us here. We can blast away into the distance. Here comes Scotty going to have a look for a way past on Impega. I've got to be careful because we know the Golf's going to be really quick off of the corner. Can't really shut the door there. Impega's going to have a nose to the inside. I'm hoping we've still got the acceleration on the exit here to get ahead. Because now we can shut the door as we run up the hill, up the other side. Oh, really struggle to pull it up in time. Really, really struggling to get that car stopped through there on a funky line. Impega will get past again, probably briefly. It's definitely briefly if you do that one. The Golf will go defensive towards the final corner. This is all helping Scotty. Our pursuit of Shadow is not going to be helped by this one. We are side by side around the final corner of Brands Hatch. I've used a lot more fuel than I was expecting to. That's not ideal here. Scotty's going to have a go to the inside. It's 3 wide towards the first corner. Scotty has a look. I've got to really brave this one on the outside. Impega's in a very awkward spot, and we just have to kind of concede a little bit there, because otherwise we were going to end up in the gravel. 3 wide through turn 1 rarely works here. Now, come on, Mercedes. You can do this. We can fend off against the Fiat. The rain doesn't look like it's come particularly. The gambles taken by others not quite paid off in this one, but Impega struggling on the exit here as we head toward, and this is where we have our best opportunity. Get off of this corner well, send it to the inside. This is the goal. This is what we are looking for. Impega's going to know this as well. Impega's going to be aware of the danger here. We've got a danger from Scotty. That Fiat is quick down the straight. Are we close enough to have a look? Not really. Not really. I wanted to, but there was really not the space to be having a look through there. Not the space for Scotty either. Maybe if we didn't have... Well, we had to kind of be a little... Oh, no, I've got a wobble on the curb. That might let the Fiat through. I think Impega's got this. The Fiat's not close enough. It has been an absolutely massive battle over 6th place, and I have going to lose out on 7th at the end. I just seemingly ran out of grip at the end of this one. Just couldn't hold it any longer in the Mercedes. I've done everything we could have done with this car, I think. But, yeah, it was just not quite to be there. We gambled on the tyres and we got lucky this time around. There is a big battle going on further back. Yeah, little error by me at the end. I just could not could not keep up with that one. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Really good fun. Well done to Scotty. Well done to Impega. Yeah, once it started getting damp, my car just didn't quite like it anywhere near as much. The other parts of the race, though, it was pretty damn good. The start, it was very good. Yeah, as it started getting a little bit damper, maybe not quite so nice in the Merc. That being said, though, yeah, I will still take the 8th place. Yeah, those that pitted. I mean, Gliska ended up down in 16th place. Just the rain didn't come. The rain didn't come. So there we go. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff indeed. It's off to the Grand Oak circuit for our next race. A bit better spot on the grid for us. The ever-present question of tyres is going to be an interesting one here. Also, Lombo's choice of car. But I don't know what 4-cylinder that gets in it, but maybe 10 already? Yeah, what are you going to do with tyres here? Because the way this is set out, it starts off dry, and there is a chance of rain, and it increases later on in the race. Now, if it rains at the midpoint, those of us that started on slicks are basically screwed. If it rains at the end point, well, you might get away with the slicks and just be trying to cling on, because you will be quite slow on the wets at the start of the race. But, yeah, who knows? It is a gamble whichever way you go. You're either gambling on it raining or you're gambling on it staying dry long enough, and then, well, it might stay dry for the entire race. It might. You may have to try and survive for a couple of laps with slick tyres on a gradually soaked circuit. I don't know what we're going to do. I've gone for the slick tyre strategy. I figured it was going to be my best bet for victory. The Merc not the best in the rain. We are hopefully going to be able to cut underneath the Carlton here. Do I have enough grip? Not quite. Not quite enough grip. Oh, we may be able to still sneak it around the outside. We get a decent exit here, but we're going to get pinned behind Liam. The Carlton will have some good straight line speed. Now it's Longbow's turn to get a little bit pinned, but Longbow will have probably the top end to be able to power away from me. Not by too much though. The gull wing not terrible. Now I wonder if Liam may have gone on, I don't know, may have gone on wets possibly. Not sure who of the lead pack might be on it. I think most would have started on slicks, but if we see some raindrops start falling soon, we know we're going to be in a world of pain, and it is the question of, do you try and tough it out, or do you bail and accept your fate, sort of thing? Who knows? We've got to find a way past this 190E. Again, I built a car that I thought would be alright in a straight line. I mean, it wasn't exactly designed to be a rocket ship in a straight line, but I thought it was going to be okay, and it's just not great, but it is still pretty good in the corners. It's the usual thing of I've tried to build a car with some straight line speed, and it's just not worked. But we may get past Liam here. Scotty's going to have a look to the inside on this one. We're going to try. I mean, if we can tough it out around the outside here, it is the inside for the final corner. We will make that one stick. Fantastic stuff. We will move ourselves up into 7th place. Now we can go chasing up. Actually, I mean, I love to see a Carlton going well. Surprised to see a Carlton going well with a 4-cylinder, but it is so far looking pretty rapid here. Shadow leads the way. I think they're in an Infinity. Impego, I believe, is in the Ginetta Junior up at the front. The Ginetta will be very fast in the corners and then very slow down the straights. We are a little bit wide at turn 1, a lot wider than I was intending on taking that one, and we're going to almost gift the position to Scotty, although we can fight back, and Scotty's lost the rear end on their own completely out wide through there, and we will survive with our 7th place, even though that was a very, very foolish manoeuvre. Right, let's try and power our way through that section, build a little bit of a gap if at all possible here. Yeah, if rain is going to start falling, I think it's going to start falling. It has started falling now. That's the thing we didn't want to see. Oh no! And I've immediately put the car in the gravel. I've gone the wrong way through the gearbox. Let's try to stay out of everyone's way. Yeah, we've immediately ran wide, and I mean, well, that kind of decides what we're going to have to pit. That one there wasn't really rain affected, I don't think. Maybe just enough to get the Mercedes in trouble. We will dive past. Like, this light rain will be enough, I think, to need wets quickly. I mean, it's happened at a point where we can dive. Okay, interesting. I am the only one who is going for this. Someone else has come in as well further back. So I figured, like, we've lost it anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter. So Nitro has come in with us. Now, whether that's because some of the other cars back there have got wet tyres on, it's possible. I think Grumple's, I think that Volvo is on wet tyres. But yeah, the leaders will be on slicks. There's a few of us. A few of us have come in on this lap, figuring this is kind of our best option. It looks like Speed Slap is in as well. So there's going to be a group of cars that have had poor starts that have kind of got nothing to lose at this point. And this is, yeah, you have nothing to lose. If you started on slicks, Shadow is some 36 seconds down the road. Now, this lap, I think a lot are going to bail on their slick tyres. I think a lot are going to suddenly realise, hold on, this has now got a lot wetter than we were expecting, sort of thing. So there may well be a few cars in. Now, it's whether how much time I can make up on this track on my outlap and compared to how much they lose on their in-lap, and whether any of them try to tough it out. Whether any of them, because 36 seconds, that's a big gap. That's a huge gap for me to be making up, but it might not be a huge gap for the cars that maybe gambled starting on wets. I believe there will be a few that have tried starting on wets. I mean, we can see times tumbling a little bit to the cars at the front. Wyvern and Brazen have now got to the lead of the race. Are they on wet tyres? I don't know. Is it one of the big things I would love to see Ford to implement is a way of telling what compound tyres people are on. Just from a kind of interest and commentary standpoint, it would be a good thing to see. This looks like it has got, I think the weather has got quite heavy rain, or heavier rain. I think we've got all the rain effect that we could get in this race, potentially. There are various cars in the pits now. Liam is to the front of the race. I think Liam might possibly be on wet. wets. I guess we will wait and see. We will come blasting down here. So Grumples was not on wets. There is Gliska coming out of the pits. They were also on the... okay, I mean, we've sort of come out... We've maybe made a little bit of a gain from where we ended up having to bail in. Now, whether any of those cars yet further up are trying to tough it out on the slicks, I think some will. I think some will try because, yeah, 30 seconds is a big amount of time for us to try and make up. I guess we will find out. We will find out because if it does start raining heavier, they're going to be really, really struggling. What can we do about Gliska, though? While the overarching theme of this race has not worked out particularly well for us, we are still in a race for 15th place. What can we do about chasing down this Sylvia? We seem to have a little bit more straight line speed than it, which is good. That will make passing it a tiny bit easier. Yeah, okay, so we're not really gaining on Liam, so I'm presuming Liam has gambled correctly on their tyre choice here. There are more cars in the pits now. More cars have bailed on their strategies. They're just losing too much time now. If anyone has stayed out on slicks for too long, that should play into the hands of me and Gliska. That should work for us. We could, yeah, with leapfrog Carguy and Woven, who were out and have had to bail on their strategy. Aaron, I think Aaron may still be out on slicks by the looks of that. I think it's been hit with the heavier rain as well now. I think Aaron is trying to make the slicks work here, and it is not, basically. Gliska's had a good start to this lap, and I have got an MG in the way. We will cut underneath that one and make a pass stick. We're up into 13th spot. Will we come across any other cars trying to tough it out? We've only got one more lap to go, though. There's only one more lap, so any of the cars on slicks trying to make it work do not have too much longer to try and make it work. I reckon that's Civic. I think that's Danger Man. I'm pretty sure that's going to be on the wrong tyres at the moment. Gliska's got some more pace. He's got a little bit more pace. I'm just really struggling with the... say with the Mercedes in the rain. It is not quite as competitive, I don't think, as it was in the dry. Danger Man is going to try and hold on. That actually really helps me because Gliska's been massively held up through that section. Not that Danger Man can do. The Honda's got absolutely zero grip. I'm hoping, yeah, Danger Man cannot get down to the apex of that corner. We can get past. A little bit of a funky line for me. A little bit of a hold on for dear life sort of a thing, but we are through. We move up into 12th spot. Can we look for a way past Gliska? I've struggled with turn 1 quite a lot so far. There's another gaggle of cars up ahead that I think we're catching. Not completely sure, though. I think that might be more to do with them battling than to do with tyre death. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I think they're tired. I think they might be gone in terms of tyres. Because me and Gliska have caught up so fast through here. There's a whole slew of places I think going to come our way in this little group if me and Gliska get this right. We are absolutely flying down this back section. Gliska will move across to defend. Well, I was expecting Gliska to move across to defend. Oh, this is like the Brazen Longbow. Yeah, so these are all the cars out on slicks. And I feel like me and Gliska might have actually cost each other a little bit of time here. Midlight's got some speed going up the hill, but it's not going to be... Well, it's going to be enough to get them going. We're trying to look around the outside of Gliska, and actually what I'm going to try and do is use these slick-tired cars. I can't do it. Gliska has found a way through all of this. Longbow and Brazen are here. I mean, we were fighting the Carlton when the pit stops happened. We will round the Carlton, and we will round up Brazen on the final lap of the race. I mean, it was definitely worth the pit stop. Had we not crashed, we could have been fighting Shadow and Impega. It's going to be a run to the line against Gliska. It's not quite going to do it. Oh, it was a good call in the end. Silly error cost me a lot of time. Those that tried to make it work on slicks just couldn't quite. Liam took victory from Rusky. YOLO in third ahead of Shadow and Impega. So I think the top 3 started on wets, and I think they won starting on wets. Yeah. There we go. That was an interesting fight through the pack right there. Yeah, we caught up. as best as we could. Couldn't quite get Gliska on the final lap. Got a little bit sort of ensnared in traffic. But, yeah, there we go. An interesting race indeed. So, overall, well, a couple of things of note. The Mercedes was a pretty solid car. Certainly in the dry, it was fast. In the wet, it was a little bit more difficult to drive. It took me a little bit more to get the hang of it. I liked it, though. I think it was actually a pretty good choice in all of this. Can't complain too much about it. The weather settings, well, they didn't quite work how I wanted to. While fun, it wasn't really what I was looking for. One of the problems I didn't realise until afterwards, while they have changed the way the wet tyres wear on dry tracks, I was hoping it's going to be significantly higher. I did, for a race that's not in this video, we did up the tyre wear, but even then it wasn't really enough, so it has to be upped quite a lot. Although these are shorter races, of course. But ultimately, while yes, there is kind of ways to set variable weather now with a percentage chance. These races, nothing was ever guaranteed in any of these. In either of the races, it was nothing was ever set to 100%, but outside of starting conditions. It does just make me wish for actually proper variable, proper random weather, because at the end of the day, I am having to script this. While I am scripting it with percentage chances of events happening, it is still a script. I would love to see Forza, and I don't know why it doesn't have, like, there is a variable weather setting, but that just means it's guaranteed to go from, you know, dry to wet or wet to dry. Like, it's a guarantee. Why we can't have just, you know, an actual random variable weather when the game can clearly do it. It was clearly doing it during this. Why it has to be so scripted? It feels like a really big missed opportunity, which is quite the shame. It was fun in this, and it was definitely a bit hectic and a bit random and a bit erratic, and that was kind of what we were going for here. There was some gambling on tyres and so on. Some worked, some didn't, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just makes you wish for proper weather settings and proper, much like Gran Turismo, that does weather unbelievably well, and I don't know why Forza, it clearly can do it, just not allowed to. That, though, is going to be it for this video. If you would like to take part in the next one of these, you can sign up via our Discord. There will be a link in the description. Find the Versus the Community sign-up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.